If you're planning a vacation and thought it would be nice to take the wife and kids to a theme park, do I ever have some great tips to share? For one thing, before you blow your holiday budget, and then some, on a surprise trip for your family, you should really think twice. What can be a heartfelt and loving gift to one person can seem reckless and manipulative to another. Go figure. For another thing, you should really read the brochure. Dismaland is N-O-T not just a cheaper version of Disneyland, and no matter how many times you apologize, that just won't change the facts. Now that I've practically memorized the press release, I can tell you that Dismaland was actually an apocalyptic, anti-consumerist exhibition space created by the reclusive artist Banksy. Walt Disney is the guy who created all those lovable cartoon characters, and Banksy makes me want to cry. Whatever lovely visions of a beautiful coastal English village may be conjured in your imagination by a name like Weston Super Mare, remember its sandy beaches are actually exposed mudflats polluted by industrial waste. There's an exciting lesson you may never live down. So instead of packing a bathing suit, you can save that extra space in your suitcase for a book or two. I might suggest something like A 30-Day Guide to Saving Your Marriage, or Talking to Your Kids About Divorce, or just reserve it for a few more ounces of despair. My family and I had never been to Europe before, and we found lots of hilarious cultural differences. You probably already know that a truck is called a lorry, but did you know that a back alley is called a mews? Fun fact, the drinking age in England is only 16, or if you flirt with the bartender, as in my daughter's case, 15. And if your 13-year-old son is lucky enough to have a helpful older sister, you can watch what's left of him wobble home after 3 pints and 12 bags of crisps. Who knew a boy of that size could be so violently ill? I was surprised to learn this was all my fault, even though I'd gone to bed early. But here's another tip. In England, seltzer is called fizzy water, and by any name, it's still great for getting out tough stains. If you ignore the warnings and want to see Dismaland for yourself, unfortunately, you've already missed out, as it was only open to the public for a few short weeks. On the other hand, if you were lucky enough to grab a ticket, I'm sure you had experiences to last a lifetime. One indelible memory I have is the depth of loathing in my wife's eyes. I'm still in awe. So be sure to have your camera ready, as you won't want to miss that one. When I sit back in my easy chair, pour myself a drink, and reminisce, I remember that particular gem was snapped somewhere between when our son dissolved into tears while viewing the migrant boat tour and when our daughter gave us the slip in the Dismaland castle, while we took in Princess Diana's fatal car crash, reimagined as Cinderella'S pumpkin carriage. And I thought the lighting was dark. It took us 4 hours, but we finally found my daughter in the mews behind the pub. And you'll never guess who she was with. But all families are different, and perhaps your trip's highlight was sparked by seeing the life-size sculpture of a woman attacked by seagulls, or that one of the killer whale jumping out of a toilet. I'm not normally one for modern art, but boy, oh boy, did that leave an impression. So remember, careful planning is the hallmark of a great vacation, and as my wife's attorney has reminded me, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. One last thing I'd like to share, Dismaland, with its desolate, soul-crushing take on contemporary society, touched some hidden core of my being that I never knew existed, and it perfectly sums up my existential loneliness and despair. Golly, was that ever a surprise. Wherever life takes you, I sincerely hope this has been a helpful guide. Until next time, bon voyage.